I came up with a whole idea about how you could use eCash to make payments and then use blind signatures to essentially confirm stuff about you without disclosing who you are. There are children in a pub, and they want to or anywhere they want to get in, and they'd claim they need to show they're old enough, or they have a driver's license, or they're from another state, or whatever, but they don't want to offer their address and all that other things, so that's what you might do with the card. Mechanism for credentialing. In the years that followed, David Chan began developing his concept for a workable cryptographic electronic money system, and the company DigiCash was founded in 1989. A notable employee at DigiCash was cryptographer Nick Szabo, who would go on to be influential in the cryptographic electronic money industry. In 1993, DigiCash launched their eCash system, a product that allowed the secure and anonymous transfer of money over the internet. According to insiders at the time, eCash was a technically perfect product. That David's response to what he perceived to be the incredibly dangerous practice of using credit cards online. Despite his good intentions, what David was doing was dangerous at the time because the US government saw a threat. A number of my colleagues and friends had confidentiality orders imposed on them by the US government, making it a federal crime to disclose what they were investigating. But you know what I mean. Applying that to cryptography seemed a little out of place. The National Security Agency, which is the United States' main cryptographic authority for protecting secrets and cracking codes, got a new head, and he began writing letters to all scientific organizations, telling them that they could not have cryptography conferences or even sessions at conferences because I thought it was just too necessary. So I risked spending the rest of my life in prison to set cryptography free. Digital cryptography was so frowned upon that some early crypto enthusiasts had to smuggle code through shirts or tattoos, similar to how Bitcoin, the eCash product, was smuggled through shirts or tattoos. At the height of the excitement, David Chan was approached by none other than Bill Gates, who decided to incorporate eCash into any copy of Windows 95. According to ex-employees of David Chan, he bid $100 million for the project, but he rejected it and any other offer that followed. In 1996, he claimed, quote, "The difference between a bad electronic cash system and a well-developed digital cash system due to his stubbornness and paranoia." He also thought that there would be better deals around the corner. He wanted eCash to be great because he believed in the value of his job. Due to infighting, David ultimately lost control of DigiCash and the business fell into the hands of foreign investors. DigiCash started pitching their goods to banks, some of whom were interested, but the overwhelming majority of banks at the time were conservative and would rather have a dictatorship than a true democracy. Instead of experimenting with a new product, stick to lucrative credit cards. By the year 1998. Before we proceed, DigiCash went bankrupt, marking the end of the first wave of digital currency. Here's a short message from today's sponsor, Discord. Discord is a place where our Cold Fusion group can meet and talk. Setting up the server was extremely simple and only took a few minutes. Separate chat categories for technology, industry, finance, medicine, and future video recommendations have been added. I've decided to do this because I've found that I've been receiving a lot of informative emails from industry professionals over time. I've been wanting to start a Discord server for a while now, so when Discord reached out to me, I figured it was the perfect opportunity, so come over and join the chat. It's free and just takes 15 seconds to join. Check the connection in the description to get started. It seemed that the world was not yet ready for electronic crypto money, but this did not stop revolutionary thinkers from seeing promise in the concept. After all, it wasn't the idea that was bad, it was just way ahead of its time. In 1999, famous economist Milton Friedman also said that, quote, "An electronic cash was important for the newly discovered internet and was also a rational tool for limiting government overreach." I believe that the internet would be one of the major forces for reducing government overreach. Government's position. The one thing that's missing, but will be established soon, is a secure eCash system, which allows you to move funds from A to B over the internet without A knowing B or B knowing A. In the mid-1990s, the economy erupted, and he went on to suggest that the money supply and monetary policy should be set by a machine so that it could not be tampered with by humans. Government's stance. A stable eCash system, which allows you to transfer funds from A to B over the internet without a knowing B or B knowing A, is the only thing missing, but it will be developed soon. The economy exploded in the mid-1990s, prompting him to propose that the money supply and monetary policy be set by a computer, so that it could not be tampered with by humans. However, it suggested the need for a centralized bank to keep track of transaction records, which went counter to the movement's core values. Nevertheless, the movement continued, and before long, some interesting concepts started to emerge on message boards, some of which were extremely useful to what would later become Bitcoin. B-Money, for example, was created by University of Washington graduate Wei Dai and published in 1998 as a way to allow online economies to operate completely free of outside control. B-Money was ultimately theoretical, and although successful, it never gained enough popularity to become a reality. Other online community ideas were less helpful. Consider Jim Bell's Assassination Politics article. In the essay, he suggested an encrypted currency scheme to be used by disgruntled people dissatisfied with their government leaders. Money could be secretly contributed to a pool until the sum was large enough for anyone to accept the reward and assassinate a politician. In the midst of all of this confusion, ex-Digicast employee Nick Szabo suggested BitGold in 1998. Nick proposed that instead of a digital currency being a coin that reflects fiat money, the digital currency itself should be a valuable asset that would be awarded to miners for solving cryptographic equations. Sound familiar? But there's a difference with BitGold. The total distancing from any dependence on banks was a departure from previous attempts.